Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Now at 5:30, today's midterm elections will decide who will be Kentucky's new U.S. Senator. Coming up, we'll tell you all about the candidates' last-minute efforts to convince voters.
Also on WKYT, if you have questions before you head out to the polls, WKYT here with the most up-to-date information. We'll give you the latest on that this morning.
And an early morning fire destroyed a barn in Clark County. These stories and breaking news as it happens coming up on WKYT this morning.
Hello there, good morning and welcome. It sure is good to have you with us here on this election day, less than half an hour now before the polls open across the Commonwealth of Kentucky. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. It's an exciting day. If you like elections and you like to get out and vote, we would obviously encourage everyone to take part in that process.
And weather really cooperating very nicely with it today. In fact, this is the nicest day that we've had or that we're going to have for a few. It's the pick day. Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. It's really working out for us. I mean, things look really, really good. And we were just talking throughout the past 30 minutes that this is going to be your best day in the next several days. Not just your 7-day, but the next several days. So you want to get out, knock it out, get it to the polls, and do a little voting. There we are in the 40s and 50s this morning. The good news for a lot of us is, well, the kids aren't up and about. You know, most schools, I would say, are closed, and just for polling reasons. And things are pretty good this morning for you guys. If you're heading out early in the morning, remember 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. when the polls are open. No matter what time you go, it's staying dry. Look at that, 67 degrees this afternoon. You got to absolutely love it. Take advantage of it, though, because here comes that cold blast with a little bit of snow mixed in. And I'll talk about when you can expect maybe some snow coming up in a few minutes.
Coming. Okay, thank you. Let's get to the news.
We begin our newscast with a breaking news alert. One person is dead after a fiery crash in Boyle County.
It happened a little before 2 this morning on Hubble Road, about a mile south of Kentucky 52. The coroner says it appears the driver of a truck lost control and crashed into a tree. The truck then caught on fire. The coroner cannot yet say if the victim is a man or a woman. We'll have more on the story as it becomes available to us this morning. We continue to make calls.
And, of course, in the other big story of the day, it's been one of the most closely watched Senate races in the country. Tonight, we will find out who will be Kentucky's new U.S. Senator. Both
incumbent Mitch McConnell and also the challenger Allison Lundergan Grimes made last-minute pleas on election eve to try to persuade voters. WKYT Sean Moody is live from one polling place on Maxwell Street in Lexington, where they'll open in just a few minutes. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Polls will open in just under 30 minutes now as this Senate race that's been going on for more than a year comes down to a pretty exciting finish. Democratic Secretary of State Allison Lundergan Grimes and Republican Senator Mitch McConnell have been neck and neck all year long, trading the lead back and forth. The most recent WKYT Herald Leader Bluegrass poll shows McConnell leading Grimes 48% to 43%, with Libertarian candidate David Patterson taking in 3%. Since the race began, McConnell has said Grimes would be an automatic vote for President Obama's policies if she were elected. His campaign has worked hard to link Grimes to Obama, who's unpopular across the state. Grimes has said she disagrees with the president on several issues, including coal, and she says McConnell isn't doing enough to create new jobs. She also says McConnell has created too much gridlock in his 30 years in the Senate. McConnell, though, says all that experience in the Senate and the chance that he'll be elected Senate Majority Leader if he keeps his seat makes him valuable.
There is also a distinct advantage to whatever state has the majority leader of the Senate, because in addition to setting the agenda for the country, I'll be in a position to look out for Kentucky's interests every single day.
And it's been Kentuckians who have been lost in the process. Someone who is constantly trying to elevate himself, all the while pushing Kentucky down. He wants a bigger office. I want you to get a bigger paycheck.
Now, the race has been on for more than a year now, since last summer, and it's been one of the most closely watched across the country. We'll soon know who comes out ahead. Again, polls open in just under 30 minutes now. Live in Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
And the Kentucky U.S. Senate race will be one of many followed on Election Day. Republicans need to gain 6 seats in the Senate to become the majority party. They already control the House. Senate races in Georgia and Louisiana are so close there may be runoff elections. Races in North Carolina and Colorado also being closely followed. On election eve, a White House spokesperson said President Barack Obama believes Democrats will hold on to the Senate. And before you can head to the polls in about an hour, we've got the most up-to-date information on what to expect today.
Polls opening at 6 o'clock this morning, about 24 minutes from right now, and they will close at 6 o'clock tonight. WKYT's Victor Puente is live now with a look at the latest polling information that you may need today. Victor, good morning.
Well, people are beginning to arrive here at the Hillendale Christian Church, setting up for a long day. Now, if you have questions about where you should be voting, the State Board of Elections has set up a hotline to assist voters. The number is 1-800-246-1399. You can also check online at the Secretary of State's website. Her office is predicting about half of the more than 3 million registered Kentucky voters will come out today. Now, with congressional and Senate races on the ballots, this election will impact the entire country. Now, there is also a change in Lexington today. Alcohol sales will be allowed during voting hours. That was changed on a statewide level before the primaries, but a city ordinance prevented those sales until the city council repealed it in September. Live in Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
All right, thanks so much, Victor. The candidates for Lexington mayor talked to some of their supporters before today's election. Incumbent Mayor Jim Gray made campaign calls yesterday morning, while challenger Anthony Beatty made a radio appearance. Mayor Gray said he has 3 key goals: creating jobs, running government efficiently, and building a great American city. Beatty said if elected, he'll work on forming relationships with the people of Lexington and taking the city to the next level.
The candidates in the 6th District congressional race spent their election eve going door to door talking to Central Kentucky voters. Incumbent Republican Andy Barr said he focused on precincts that the race was close in 2012. Democratic challenger Elizabeth Jensen said that she chose to visit precincts where polling showed there were many undecided voters.
Well, new this morning, police have arrested a suspect in a Lexington shooting. Kressler Charles is charged with assault. The shooting happened October 17th in the Winburn neighborhood, the same day Jeffrey Adams was murdered nearby. According to Charles' arrest citation, family and friends were mourning the loss of Adams when a fire broke out. That's when police say Charles shot a man in the hip. Charles will be arraigned on the assault charge today.
And new this morning on WKYT, police are on the lookout for a man who robbed a Lexington gas station. The man robbed the Thornton's gas station on Winchester Road around 11:30 last night. Police say the robber pulled a knife on the clerk inside, took cash, and then ran off down Strader Drive. Police say the man is a white male about 5 feet 7 inches tall, wearing a dark hoodie, jeans, and had a scruffy beard. Police are looking over surveillance footage this morning to try to identify the robber.
Well, today fire crews plan to return to the scene of a Scott County fire that destroyed a business. The fire broke out late yesterday afternoon at the ANZ Towing on Industry Road in Georgetown. Witnesses say you could see the smoke for miles from that fire. Employees were inside at the time and say it took about basically 90 seconds for the fire to spread, destroying the business and an apartment above. Officials hope to figure out the cause of the fire later today.
And a fire that started early this morning destroyed a barn in Winchester. The fire broke out about 1:15 this morning on Ecton Road. Neighbors tell us they called 911 after seeing the flames. Fire officials say some equipment and tools inside have been destroyed, and the heat from the fire also damaged a truck inside.
Made sure that no one got hurt, and most of the structure had already burned before we got here. What was standing was mostly the metal structure. Once it fell in, we started pulling it out of the way.
Officials say no animals nor people were hurt in the fire. A year after falling in the stands of Rupp Arena, a UK fan is still recovering from his injuries.
Family members say Dickie Gregory is paralyzed from the neck down. During an exhibition game at Rupp last year, Gregory fell backwards down 6 rows of bleachers. His wife tells us he's been in 4 different hospitals since and has had 2 surgeries along with other procedures. Gregory says the support of the Big Blue Nation is helping him.
A lot of times you just feel like giving up, but then you get to thinking about all these prayers and people's cards and stuff, and you feel like, well, I can't give up because they're all counting on me.
Well, we wish him the best of luck in his recovery. Gregory is now in a nursing center. His wife hopes they'll eventually be able to live in a handicap-accessible home.
Some disturbing charges against a man who coached basketball at a Central Kentucky middle school. Police say Christopher Evans sent obscene text messages to a girl in South Carolina and wanted to have sex with her. He is now charged with criminal solicitation of a minor in South Carolina. Evans is under house arrest in Kentucky while he awaits to be extradited. Evans coached at Garrett County Middle School. We're also told he worked with AmeriCorps, helping teachers and students at the school. The school leaders say he resigned after the arrest.
Lexington police are investigating a strange burglary at the new Fayette County driver's license office. Police say sometime over the weekend a burglar broke open a safe and stole money. This is happening on Winchester Road is where this occurred. Employees say the doors of the office were still locked when they got to work Monday morning. Police say they're not sure how the burglar got inside.
We're looking into who might have been able to get into the building, not breaking open anything, and then who would have known where the safe was and how to get into it.
Police plan to look at surveillance video from nearby offices and businesses to see if those cameras caught anything unusual around the driver's license office.
The trial of a woman accused of killing 3 people in a crash has been delayed. Police charged Billy Caudle with murder and DUI. And her trial was supposed to start Monday in Perry County. Court workers did not give a reason for the delay. Last year, police say Caudle crashed her car on Highway 15 in Perry County. Her husband died along with a couple in another car. A hearing in the case has been set for later this month.
Well, LexArts and Kroger have announced that 3 artists will be painting murals for the new Kroger on Euclid Avenue. This is according to our partners at the Herald Leader. The Lexington artists will paint a mural on the side of the building facing Marquis Avenue, and the 2 other smaller murals will be inside the store. John Lackey of Homegrown Press will do the exterior mural. UK Associate Architecture Professor Liz Swanson and Broco Locos, Aaron and Jared Scales will paint the interior murals. The work on them is set to begin immediately. Cannot wait to see what they unveil.